In the run-up to the European elections, parliamentary work continues intensively for the EPP-ED Group, and the presidency of the group came here in Stockholm to meet with the ministers of the Swedish government and to discuss with them the issues that will dominate the European agenda during the 6-month presidency of the Union, which starts next July. In a period of global economic downturn, Prime Minister Fredrik Reinfeldt and his ministers, they are aware that their task is not going to be an easy one. They consider, though, this crisis as an opportunity to look for new solutions and bring hope to citizens.
It's the second time that Sweden will occupy the top European position. The first was in 2001, when the economic outlook was more positive and euro coins and notes were ready to enter into use. Joseph Daul, chairman of the EPP-ED Group, accompanied by vice-chairman Gunnar Hökmark, Ottmar Karas, Marianne-Jean Marinescu and Hartmut Nassauer, had meetings with the Swedish Prime Minister Fredrik Reinfeldt and several ministers who for 6 months will chair the meetings of the Council of Ministers. It's become a tradition for the presidency of the EPP-ED Group to have this kind of preparatory meeting with the government of the member state which is about to take over the EU's 6-month rotating presidency. According to the group's chairman, these meetings are essential for preparing forthcoming parliamentary work, which is expected to intensify after the European elections in June.
We are moving ahead a little earlier than usual as, during the fast approaching European elections, we will not be able to travel here. We find ourselves in a difficult situation because of the crisis. Work, therefore, has to be prepared in advance so that as soon as the new parliament is elected, things can move on in July.
Members of the EPP-ED presidency held meetings with the Swedish Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Enterprise and Energy, Maud Olofsson, before meeting Secretary of State for International Development Cooperation, Joachim Stimner. Immediately afterwards, they discussed immigration policy issues with Tobias Billström, Minister for Migration and Asylum Policy. Turmoil in the financial markets was discussed with Mats Odell, Minister for Local Government and Financial Markets, while a meeting with the Foreign Affairs Minister Carl Bildt focused on the challenges that the EU faces in the international arena. Members of the EPP-ED Group also met with Minister of Justice Beatrice Ask and the Secretary of State for Environment Asa Britt Carlsson. Discussions with the Prime Minister and his Minister of Justice, Anders Borg, covered the major political topics that will dominate Sweden's 6-month EU presidency.
Prime Minister, challenging times are lying ahead for you and your government and the European Union. Which are the priorities you have set when you will occupy the top post in the Union next July?
Well, the obvious is to follow the financial crisis and the economic downturn. To keep on coordinating the European answers must be our main objective. We are also preparing, of course, for the climate solutions to the Copenhagen conference to keep European Union together. That is also one of our top priorities.
Mr. Reinfeldt referred also to the shift from the Nice to the Lisbon Treaty, linked to a new Irish referendum in which, it is hoped, the Lisbon Treaty will be ratified.
One should be prepared that this will be a very special presidency. We have the European elections beginning of June. We have a new commission coming in and still uncertainty linked to being in the Nice Treaty, wanting to come over to the Lisbon Treaty, how to react to that, and also await, because we don't have the final date for an Irish referendum. We even at this point have not formally their legal guarantees prepared either. So we hope to see this finalized during the Czech presidency, and therefore we could prepare for the shift during our presidency, but everything is not still in place. This is an important shift. The Lisbon Treaty will make the European Union function more efficient, be also enlargement of the opportunities for the European Parliament to be engaged in decision making together with the Council, for instance.
How advanced are the Swedish in their preparations for taking over the EU presidency? They are very well prepared. They are up to date on the key issues and are aware that this will not be an easy presidency. They will face a new parliament, a commission that will not yet be fully in place, and the ratification of the Lisbon Treaty that will depend on the outcome of an Irish referendum. They are going in with their eyes open and will bear a great responsibility for the last 6 months of 2009.